Oh yeah, Slane? Good? Good evening, guys. Good. Happy Sun Hope you guys are having a wonderful night / start to the work week. I'm gonna get things started here. Take a look at the tubes real quick and go from there. I think we got some lovely videos waiting for us. Hope you guys are having a good evening, though. Oh, yeah. Ready. Got in the tube. Probably a Project Farm. Oh my god. Oh, when it rains, it pours. Project Farm coming for the LTT stubby screwdriver. Oh, poor Linus. Poor Linus. His empire being torn down around him. Bikini models. I have not watched a single short on... Actually, maybe I've watched one short on YouTube. I've watched shorts on Facebook. I've not watched a single short on YouTube, and it's recommending me bikini models. Yep. Guess that tracks somewhere. Speaking of tracks. Oh! There's a new B1M, too. Oh, there's a hardware unbox video for driver overhead. Yes. Yes. Oh, we also didn't do an AV teardown. So much to look at, guys. The detail's nuts in Battlefield 5. Yes, it is. But gameplay isn't, so. Learn every day. Obviously, we have to see which stubby screwdriver is the best, guys, to be perfectly honest. This isn't even a question.
If you're working in a tight space, a ratcheting stubby screwdriver can save a lot of time. The question is the new LTT ratcheting stubby screwdriver just as good or even better than the competition?
Oh.
Well, let's find out. In the first test, we'll see which ratcheting screwdriver has the best working arc swing. Then we'll see which screwdriver has the best and then the worst build quality. At a price of $12, is
audio mixing, please.
Stanley brand. 3 positions has the best and then the worst build quality.
That's true. This is actually really helpful. I don't have one. I have a jeweler's screwdriver, which is very nice.
Magnetic bit
but I don't actually have a stubby.
The screwdriver comes with 6 different bits.
Well, besides like a normal stubby.
In China. All the bits are made in China. And the Stanley weighs 127.03 grams. Let's kick off our first test to see which ratcheting
promotions?
is
Possibly.
the most efficient. Hand mobility varies a lot.
Ooh.
So let's compare the performance within a 50-degree space.
This generally caters to smaller teeth.
Takes to complete a full circle. And the Stanley's gear set seems to have quite a bit of slop. And it takes 11.5 right to left passes to complete one full
Project
rotation
Farm coming for Linus.
Area. At a price of $13, is this Michael Pro? It claims to have a smooth ratcheting mechanism. It also claims to have an
you just said then. I know that.
Just like the Stanley, it includes a forward,
yes,
reverse,
you are
and a
correct.
lock position.
Yes.
The previous 2 brands come with 6 bits. The Michael Pro comes with 7. Storage space in the handle for 6 bits. The Michael Pro is made in Taiwan, and the Michael Pro weighs just over 105 grams. And the Michael Pro's gear set
at least that's what she tells you.
And the screwdriver performed very well for a budget tool at 9.9 passes. At a price of $14, is this No Cry brand? The ratcheting mechanism has a forward, reverse, and a lock.
No Cry was actually pretty good, I believe, in the screwdriver test. Electric screwdriver test.
The No Cry is made in Taiwan. 119.56 grams for the No Cry. And the No Cry is making about 33
those bits, guys, you really need a holder for those bits, otherwise you just lose them.
And the No Cry moves into second place behind the Michael Pro at 10.8. At a price of $16, is this Sada brand? The screwdriver comes with 6 bits. It also claims to have a smooth ratcheting mechanism. The back cap stores all included bits magnetically inside the handle. SATA claims that their bits are made of high-grade tool steel designed to handle some torque. We're gonna test that. The SATA is made in China, and the SATA weighs 103.11 grams. And the SATA is performing about the same as the No-Cry at around 33 degrees of progress. And the SATA moves ahead of the No-Cry into second place at 10.5 passes. At a price of $18 is this Klein Tools brand. Includes forward, reverse, and a lock position.
Yes, it does.
It comes with 6 different bits. Cushion grip handle for maximum torque and comfort. The Klein Tools is made in Taiwan. And the Klein Tools weighs 143.13 grams. And the Klein Tools ratchet is extremely short for use in a tight space, but the ratcheting mechanism is not as efficient as some of the other brands. And it's
Usually with like
11.6
small
passes
things, if it has a ratchet on it, it breaks. I actually have a really...
$22,
Oh, actually, I kind of do have a stubby, but not really, because it doesn't actually have traditional bits on it. I can show you. I have a ratchet. So check this guy out. He's not really a stubby because it technically doesn't have normal bits. It's for really tight space nuts. Look at this guy. It's a ratchet. But you can put a bit on it. Look at that guy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw this guy in the store and I had to pick it up. It is 100% made for tight areas. Not really the same thing as a stubby, but kind of. I just don't have the bits. Like, I don't have the normal screwdriver bits for it. Jesus Christ. I had a hex driver on there. Oh. I do have that.
Brand. It claims to be a high torque ratchet. The bits that it comes with are power tool ready. For bit storage, the Milwaukee uses
Power
a
tool
pass-through
ready, huh?
handle design. The Milwaukee is made in Taiwan. 152.42 grams for the Milwaukee. And the Milwaukee is making around 37 degrees of progress with each pass. And the Milwaukee just moved into the lead over the MicroPro at 9.8. At a price of $29 is this Stahl Wheel brand. It's a 48-tooth ratcheting screwdriver. It claims to have a working arc swing of just 7.5 degrees. Unfortunately, the Stahl Wheel does not include onboard bit storage. The Stahl Wheel did not come with any bits.
Instant
The Stahl Wheel
loss.
is made in Germany, and the
Instant loss, unless that is the case.
139.34 grams.
Unless that
And
is the
Stahl Wheel
case.
might have a great build quality, but the
That means
ratchet
those bits are
mechanism
just, they're
isn't as
gone.
efficient
They're
as some
fucking
of the other
gone,
brands.
guys. And even with
And
the case, they might be
11.3
gone.
passes. At a price of $46 is this Wearer brand. 6 standard size 1-inch bits can be stored inside the handle. The Wearer is made in Germany, and the Wearer weighs 138.44 grams. And the Wearer seems to be making about the same rate of progress as a Stahl Wheel. And the Wearer performed very close to the same as the Stahl Wheel at 11.5 passes. At a price of $60 is the Linus Tech Tip screwdriver. It even comes with a note from Linus himself. I always buy everything I test on the channel, including this product, which I paid the full retail price. The screwdriver comes with 5 bits and a magnet. The ratcheting mechanism includes forward, reverse, and lock. Includes a knurled shaft for those fine adjustments. The LTT weighs 122.09 grams. And the LTT's ratcheting mechanism seems to be performing just as well or even better than the Milwaukee. And the LTT just moved into the lead over the Milwaukee at 9.6. At a price of $68 is this Matco Tools brand. Matco Tools claims to be the strongest and most durable 42 geared ratcheting mechanism. Unfortunately, the Matco screwdriver does not have onboard bit storage. Made in Taiwan. And the Matco is the heaviest yet at 188.71 grams. And the Matco Tools is definitely more efficient than most of the other brands at around 37 degrees of progress with each pass. And the Matco Tools moves into a 2-way tie for second place with the Milwaukee at 9.8. I wasn't able to find just the gear wrench stubby screwdriver for sale, but I was able to find the stubby screwdriver inside this 40-piece kit for a price of $70. The kit includes both a T-handle as well as a regular ratcheting stubby.
That includes a lot of different stuff,
the gear wrench
right?
does not include onboard bit storage. The gear wrench kit
No,
is made
but
in
it comes with a
Taiwan,
case.
And the gear wrench weighs 170.15 grams.
Fuck is
and
this
the gear
even
wrench is
called?
making around 33 degrees of progress with each pass.
Mini
However,
ratchet,
the gear
micro
wrench is
ratchet?
a little bit less efficient than the top 5 brands at 10.9. At a price of $80 is this PB Swiss brand. The bits are stored in a 6-bit sliding magazine at the end of the handle. Comes with 6 different bits. Swiss Tools claims that their bits are made of premium steel. Stainless steel magnetic bit holder. The PB Swiss is made in Switzerland, and it's 149.12 grams for the Swiss Tools. And the PB Swiss seems to be as precise as a Swiss clock. And the PB Swiss is the most efficient yet at 8.6 right to left passes. Very impressive.
But also very expensive.
The most expensive brand we'll be testing is made by Snap-on. It has a thumbs-up forward, lock, and reverse lever for directional control. Interchangeable knurled stainless steel shank. It claims to have a smooth, durable ratcheting mechanism. It claims to have a high-strength magnet for superior bit retention. Unfortunately, the Snap-on does not have have onboard bit storage. And the snap-on did include 1 bit. The snap-on is made in USA. And the snap-on weighs 170.31 grams. And the snap-on is making over 40 degrees of progress with each pass and seems to be about as efficient as the PB Swiss. And the snap-on almost matched the PB Swiss at 8.7 passes. Very impressive. When it comes to working arc swing, the PB Swiss came out on top at 8.6 right to left passes for a complete rotation within a 50-degree space. However, the snap-on performed almost
They
as
might have
well at
replaced it.
8.7.
It looks like they got their own
finished-
now. I definitely bought it from Menards. This kind of looks. This is a bunch of pieces. Mine is a case. This is just a bunch of shit you're gonna lose. Does it come with like even a bag or something? No. You're just gonna lose all these. This is just all gonna get lost. Like, it's fine and everything that each one of these has a little holder, but each one of these you're just gonna lose. Like, it needs to all be grouped together or it needs to be part of the tool. Palm ratchet. Let's see, Stanley. Palm ratchet. Because these are almost identical. Like, this is basically a mini screwdriver, right? There it is, Stanley palm ratchet. I see. But this doesn't look like mine. Different case, maybe? It's more expensive. Well, this is it. Rare. This is they're fucking selling them in Menards. How's this rare? I guess. Seems like they doubled the price on them too. But this is exactly, it basically has a kit and a case, right? I'd actually say the ratchet's kind of hard to use, but it is super tiny. But it doesn't have, once again, it doesn't have the bits. This one has bits. These guys, this has bits. I'd actually say the only thing that kind of sucks about it is it's pretty heavy. I mean, it is a ratchet. It's designed to actually last a decent amount of time.
Finished in third at 9.6. When it comes to screwdriver length, some of the stubby screwdrivers just don't seem very stubby at over 6 inches in length. On the other hand, some might just be too short to gain a good grip. Most of the screwdrivers with a bit are between 4 and 5 inches in length. A ratcheting screwdriver with a lot of back drag really makes removing and installing fasteners in a tight space a challenge at times. If there's enough space, adding resistance to the screwdriver shaft allows the ratchet to make progress, but that's not always an option. The shaft of each ratchet will rest on a metal platform to ensure that each tool is level and to prevent side loading of the shaft. I'll rotate the handle until I hear a click, indicating that the ratcheting mechanism has fully repositioned into the next gear tooth. And the Stanley has 52.88 grams of back drag, which is quite a bit. And the MicroPro performed just a little bit better than the Stanley at 48.68 grams of back drag. And the No Cry struggled in the working arc swing test, but it performed well in this test at 18.28. And Asada moves into second place behind the No Cry at 39.08 grams. And the Klein Tools has the most back drag yet at 69.35 grams. And the Milwaukee's even stiffer than the Klein Tools at 89.98 grams of back drag.
Very stiff.
And the Stone Wheel performed
They're
well
actually
at
all they're all
29.38
kind of around the same amount of spin distance, so it's almost kind of like a wash. Around the same amount of progress per turn.
which is good enough to move into second place behind the No Cry. And the Wearer performed about the same as the Star Wheel at 34.89 grams. And the LTT moves into the lead over the No Cry at 9.89 grams. Very impressive.
Oh.
And the Matco Tools also performed very well in this test at 14.41, which is good enough to move into second place. And the Gear Wrench also takes a light touch to advance at only 18.1 grams of back drag. And the PB Swiss has an amazing working arc swing, but it struggled in this test at 47.88 grams. And the Snap-on performed almost identical to the LTT at 9.98 grams. So the LTT has the lowest back drag at 9.89 grams, but the Snap-on finished in a very close second at 9.98. Matco Tools, Gear Wrench, and No Cry also performed well at
Win for
20 grams.
Linus.
If you're breaking out
Rare
the
W from right now.
there's a good chance that you'll want a strong magnet to hang on to the fastener. And the Stanley, MicroPro, No Cry, Sada, Klein Tools, and Milwaukee weren't able to lift the screw. And the Star Wheel made very easy work of the screw. I've embedded a screw into a piece of wood so we can see how much magnetic pull is made by the Star Wheel. And the Star Wheel did a great job at almost 68 grams of lift. And the wearer won't lift the screw, but it does offer about 1.59 grams of pull. And the LTT made very easy work of the screw. And the LTT offers the most magnetic lift yet at just over 90 grams. Very impressive. While we're at it, let's go ahead and test out the magnet. And the LTT magnet made it to just over 620 grams or about 1.4 pounds of lift. And the bit tip for the Matco tools and the gear wrench is not magnetized. And a PB Swiss made very easy work of lifting the screw. And a PB Swiss moves into the lead at almost 200 grams. Very impressive. And the Snap-on lifted the screw off of the scale. And the Snap-on also performed well at 38.49 grams, which is good enough for a 4th place finish behind the stall wheel. If you're looking for a screwdriver that won't drop screws, the PB Swiss came out on top at almost 200 grams of lift. LTT also performed well at just over 90 and stall wheel 67.99 grams. And a screwdriver with a great build quality will have very little side-to-side shaft movement, and this really helps with work requiring precision. I'll measure the amount of movement using a dial indicator from 2¼ inches from the front of the shaft. And the Stanley has quite a bit of slop at 0.064 inches. And the MicroPro performed a little bit better than the Stanley at 0.0585. And the No-Cry performed by far the best yet at only 0.025 inches. And the Sata has the most side-to-side movement yet at 0.067 inches. And the Klein Tools performed better than average at 0.0465. And the Milwaukee also performed better than average at 0.053. And the Stall Wheel takes the lead from the No-Cry at a very impressive 0.021 inches. And the Wearer has quite a bit more shaft movement than the Stall Wheel at 0.0595.
Very sloppy.
And the LTT remains straight as an arrow at 0.0085 inches.
Ooh.
And the Matco tools performed better than average at 0.049 inches. And the gear wrench performed just a little bit better than the Matco tools at 0.046. Just like the LTT, the PB Swiss performed a lot better than average at 0.023. And the Snap-on performed even better than the PB Swiss at 0.0185. So the LTT came in on top at 0.0085 inches, but the Snap-on also performed well at 0.0185. Stall Wheel, PB Swiss, and No-Cry also performed very well.
Looks like the No-Cry is actually pretty good for budget.
Tight space. Let's compare the bit retention strength next. And the Stanley made it to 438 grams or just about 1 pound before letting go of the bit. For a budget screwdriver, the MicroPro performed very well at almost 1,200 grams or about 2.6 pounds. And the No-Cry let go at 922 grams to move into 2nd place. And the Sata moves into the lead over the MicroPro at 1,321 grams. And the Klein Tools is a little below average at 769 grams. And the Milwaukee performed almost as well as the Sata at 1,239. And the Stall Wheel let go of the bit at 853 grams. And the Wearer performed very close to the same as the Stall Wheel at 886. And the LTT moves into 2nd place behind the Sata at 1,254 grams. And the Matco tools also maintained a very good grip on the bit at 1,176 grams. And the gear wrench really struggled in this test at only 186 grams. And the PB Swiss has by far
this isn't like a super huge thing, but it is really annoying if the bit pops out. So.
Very impressive. And the Snap-on performed almost the same as the LTT at 1,272 grams. And the screwdriver that has the best hold-on bits is the PB Swiss at 2,300.
Probably doesn't matter as long as you're not way down here.
Snap-on, LTT, and Milwaukee also performed very well at over 1,200 grams. Let's compare the amount of rotation in the lock position at 4 inches from the shaft. And Stanley allows for quite a bit of rotation at 0.775
manual mode,
inches.
guys.
And the MicroPro performed a lot better than the Stanley at 0.357 inches. And the No-Cry performed about the same as the Stanley at 0.701. And the Sata performed about the same as the MicroPro at 0.401 inches. And the Klein Tools has more rotation than the Sata at 0.621. And the Milwaukee moves into the lead over the MicroPro at 0.341. And the Stall Wheel performed about the same as the Klein Tools at 0.641. Once again, the Wearer performed close to the same as the Stall Wheel at 0.655. And the LTT has more rotation than the Stall Wheel and the Wearer at 0.862 inches. And the Matco Tools has more rotation than the dial meter can measure at over 1 inch. Just like the Matco Tools, the gear wrench also has a lot of rotation at over 1 inch. And the PB Swiss moves into the lead over the Milwaukee at 0.34. And the Snap-on performed about the same as the Klein Tools at 0.606. With the shaft in the lock position, the PB Swiss and the Milwaukee had the least amount of shaft rotation at very close to 0.34 inches. The MicroPro also performed very well at 0.357. Using the factory-supplied screwdriver bits, let's test a failure load of the Phillips number 2 bits next. We'll be using a drill press with the wheel attached to the lever arms. With 20 pounds attached to the lever arms, there's about 140 pounds of downward force on the screwdriver handle, which should prevent cam out. I'll swap out the screw between testing each of the bits. And the Stanley bit broke at 92 inch-pounds. A look under the microscope, and the bit sheared without twisting the flutes. Once again, the MicroPro performed a lot better than the Stanley, with the bits breaking at 131 inch-pounds.
I think that's generally good.
Broke without twisting the flutes. And the No-Cry does not come with the number 2 Phillips, but
if it twists the flutes, that means it's probably just going to go to shit before it actually breaks, and generally that means that the tip's going to round out on it. My guess is the tip's going to round out on it. instead of it actually just snapping or breaking, because it's something, basically there's two opposite ends of the spectrum. The more something gives, the less rigidity it has. So something can be really stiff, but it means that it will just snap. But on the opposite end, you can have something that's a little bit more pliable, but it won't snap. You know, there'll be more give. Generally, depending on what you're talking about, sometimes you want either end of the scale. And I guess right here, you know, like with a bit, you'd want something that just doesn't give it all and then just snaps, because then you don't need to worry about the bit itself actually wearing down, because they do. They wear down, they ground out, and then you can't even use it anymore. And you'll try, because everyone tries to make the bits last as long as humanly possible, but it doesn't work that way.
But it does come with several posi drive bits, and the bit gave up very early at only 45 inch-pounds. And the bit tip is pretty soft, and it twisted quite a bit before breaking. And the SATA broke at 116 inch-pounds to move into second place behind the MicroPro. And the SATA bit does seem pretty brittle, and it snapped without any twisting. And the Klein tools performed almost as well as the MicroPro at 127 inch-pounds.
Obviously, you want it to be strong
power
too.
Tool ready, and the Milwaukee broke at 124 inch-pounds. And the Milwaukee experienced a clean break without twisting the flutes. And the wearer cammed out at 113 inch-pounds. The flutes on the bit twisted quite a bit. And the LTT moves into the lead at 140 inch-pounds. And the bit broke without twisting the flutes. And the Matco Tools bit held
Very
on for a long
impressive.
time before the bit finally broke at 138 inch-pounds. The flutes did twist quite a bit. And the gear inch bit offers good strength, finally breaking at 128 inch-pounds. The bit is extremely brittle, and it broke into several pieces. And the PB Swiss moves into the lead over the LTT at 145 inch-pounds. Very impressive. And the Snap-on snapped at a very disappointing 50 inch-pounds.
I believed in you.
I'm pretty confident it's a genuine Snap-on bit because it was shipped to me directly from the Snap-on store. Hopefully the Snap-on bits are a lot stronger than this one, and it's just a bad bit. So PB Swiss came in on top at 145 inch-pounds. LTT finished in second at 140.
Snap-on quality nowadays, guys.
138. And all of the screwdrivers outlasted. T finished in second.
The No Cry kind of got shit on there. LTT is actually not looking that bad. Maybe Michael Pro, like the bit strength is actually like that's kind of poopy. So there also should be a category for whether or not it twisted or not. And there isn't one here. So can't figure out which one of these bits actually twisted before it broke.
At 140 and
Still going back through the video.
138. And all of the screwdrivers outlasted the bits. So the screwdrivers have more than enough strength. However, let's go ahead and apply enough torque to the screwdrivers until they fail, which will give us a good excuse to take them apart. And the Stanley's handle broke loose from the ratcheting mechanism at 342 inch-pounds. And the MicroPro has outperformed the Stanley throughout most of the testing, and it's outlasted the Stanley this time again at 371 inch-pounds. Just like the Stanley, the MicroPro's grip has also been destroyed. And the ratcheting mechanism on the No Cry gave up at 243 inch-pounds. A look inside the ratchet, the main gear experienced quite a bit of damage. And it took a couple attempts to gain good enough grip on the SATA. The handle broke loose from the ratcheting mechanism at 360 inch-pounds. Just like several of the other brands, the ratchet outlasted the handle on the Klein tools. The grip's been destroyed, but the Klein tools is still working just fine. And the Milwaukee
just
ratcheting
attach a wrench to it, guys. It'll be fine.
But the handle did not. 313 inch-pounds. And the Germans take tool building seriously, and the Stahl wheel is by far the most difficult ratchet to break.
Germans take everything
and
seriously.
The pliers tore away the rubber grip before they were able to gain a really good grip on the hard plastic handle. And the Stahl wheel finally broke at 582 inch-pounds, the most yet. Very impressive. The main gear held up, but there's some damage to the teeth on one of the pawls. Just like the Stahl wheel, the wearer is built to handle some serious torque. And it's over for the wearer at 543 inch-pounds. And the pawl experienced quite a bit of damage, but the main gear is still in good shape. And the knurled shaft on the LTT broke at 193 inch-pounds, which is a lot more torque than you'll probably need.
Yeah, to be fair, I think a good test here, because obviously these results out of context kind of like lead you to a false conclusion that one's going to be a lot better than another one. You're talking about a palm screwdriver, guys. The ability for you to actually put enough force on it, you know, maybe he could like test his maximal like grip strength himself or something like that and use it as a baseline, because you're never really going to exceed that. And he's, you know, assumingly a in-shape guy, so he's probably has a pretty good grip strength, right? And you're never going to exceed that. So going beyond a certain threshold, assuming like a low-end failure load, doesn't really matter at all.
For a PC build, a little JB welded, this thing will be back in action. And the Matco Tools is also
JB Weld
built to
fixes
handle
anything.
some serious torque. And 566 inch-pounds is almost as much as a Stahl wheel. And the main gear really chewed up the pawl. And the gear wrench also held up very well, making it to 475 inch-pounds before the ratcheting mechanism let go. Both the main gear and the pawl experienced a lot of damage. And the handle tore away from the ratcheting mechanism on the PB Swiss at 152 inch-pounds. Definitely not a tool designed for rugged use in mechanical applications. And the snap-on also withstood a lot of torque, but the shaft finally broke at 507 inch-pounds. And the ratcheting mechanism is still in good shape and works just fine. So which ratcheting screwdriver is best? I decided not to include the bit and screwdriver destruction test in the ranking since it really isn't a tool designed for rugged use. By the numbers, the PB Swiss had the best average finish of 2.
Rounded out bits are my mortal enemy. That being said, you probably could get replacement bits, so is it even that big of a deal? Good question, right? Good question.
0.8. In my opinion, the two most critical categories include working arc swing and back drag.
Back drag, I'd say, is a lot because it's like a jeweler's screwdriver, something used for delicate work. So you need to be able to make some minute adjustments, and that's, you know, like, it's not something you're going to apply a lot of force to, right?
Swiss has way too much back drag to work efficiently in many instances. Snap-on finished in second, and the Snap-on did a great job at the working arc swing test and
SATA's not even the good.
The biggest downside with the Snap-on is it only holds one bit in the tool since it doesn't offer bit storage inside the handle. And the LTT had an average finish of 3.7.
You'll lose it all. It's just going to disappear, guys.
Well for working arc swing and back drag and has onboard bit storage. I really like it when a manufacturer allows me to test their products without any pressure, so a big thank you to the LTT team for selling me one of their screwdrivers before the public release and allowing me to do an accurate and honest review. So the big question is the LTT screwdriver the best? I think that really depends on what you're looking for. If you plan to use and abuse a screwdriver and apply a lot of torque and hit it with a hammer, definitely not the LTT screwdriver. But then again, I don't think it was built for that type of use. I really think it's designed more for an ergonomic advantage over some of the competition. It has very good onboard bit storage as well as very good
bit storage matters.
All the videos in this channel, including this one,
bit storage matters a lot, guys.
So
you're gonna lose. It's just like you're gonna take it out of the box, guys. You're gonna put it somewhere. It's gonna gone. It's just like immediately gone. The moment you put it out of the box, it's gonna disappear. There's no other way around it. It's just. They're going to be there one day, and the next day they aren't going to be there. That's the way it works.
I did not include the bit.
Still
in good shape and works just fine. So which
bit storage, like a low-end tool? Like, although like the good ones are kind of expensive. I guess kind of makes sense. No bit storage is an immediately disqualification, in my opinion. Like this. It's like the SATA. SATA's not even that great though. Back drag test was pretty poor on that. Right, I guess. There doesn't seem to be a low-end winner here, guys. They're all kind of just crap, unless you expend, I guess, $60 on a micro screwdriver.
Allowing me to do an accurate and honest review.
I don't even care about half the things tested on this channel, but it's a joy to watch. Good entertainment.
It really depends on what you're looking for. If you plan to use and abuse a screwdriver and apply a lot of torque and hit it with a hammer, definitely not the LTT screwdriver. But then again, I don't think it was built for that type of use. I really think it's designed more for an ergonomic advantage over some of the competition. It has very good onboard bit storage as well as very good ergonomics. All the videos in this channel, including this one, are viewer suggested. So if you have a video idea, I hope you take time to leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching. Please take care and look forward to next time.
Yeah, like I think so. Technically speaking, I can get because this is a 1/4-inch drive, and it comes with an adapter to use with bits, right? So you have your hex bit. I don't know what the name of it is called, and then you got a 1/4-inch drive, which is the square guy. So technically, I can put small bits in here. I can actually use small bits in this guy. Like I said, the only thing about this kind of really sucks is it's actually really heavy. This is actually pretty heavy. Maybe like a pound and a half. Yeah, maybe about a pound and a half. It's actually pretty heavy, but it does what it's supposed to. So how delicate you need to be with certain things, maybe not always. That's why I said the weight's kind of an issue. I don't know. Pair radiator coolant additives. Here's one. He does like his liquids. Project Farm does love testing liquids. Oil from Harbor Freight. Definitely include, you gotta include Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight is like the low end, everyone buys it shit. $14, no cry is a great value for the backtrade perspective, yeah. I think that's what it comes down to. Basically, the no cry is where you want to go if you want to get something cheap for this. But he also didn't test palm ratchets, which are pretty close to this. Like you guys saw, like this is, you can see why this is almost interchangeable with what he's doing. Stuff. Oh my god, it's me! I'm live. That's me. Okay. Enough ratchets, guys. Mini ITX case review. Don't care. What time is it? 2? Want to take a look at driver overhead video. I don't know if we're gonna do it tonight though. Well, since we watch a hub. Smarter Every Day is still there. B1M. So many good videos, guys. Bauer making filler. Yeah, let's take a look at the hub. We'll take a look at the hub. Wanted to take a look at this, so.
Welcome back to Harbour Unboxed.
Thank
Today's
you.
video has
Hey,
been
Steve.
requested by you guys, viewers. So hopefully you will enjoy it. In short,
Maybe.
many of you have requested that I use the Radeon RX 7900 XTX for some CPU testing, as you want to see how that data compares to the 4090 data that we already have. So that's what we'll be doing. But before we get into it, today's sponsor spot is brought to you by ASUS Store and their new Locker Store for data. Check the limit bottleneck as much as possible. I used the GeForce RTX 4090 in an effort to reduce the GPU bottleneck as much as possible, allowing us to better evaluate the gaming performance of these CPUs. However, many of you are aware of NVIDIA's GeForce overhead issue, which I explained in a two-part series back in 2021, and I'll provide some links to those videos in the description below if you're interested to learn what is going on there. Anyway, this and a few other factors, such as resizable bar for example, can result in unusual performance scaling between GeForce and Radeon GPUs, depending on the CPU, game, and settings used.
Yep.
So this is really more for science type content. It's not going to change any of the recommendations we've made previously, but it will no doubt provide us with some interesting results. And at the end of the day, you guys wanted to see this data, so that's really all I needed to hear. Now, for testing, the Ryzen 7 7800X3D was installed on the Gigabyte X670E Aorus Master, using the latest BIOS revision and DDR5 6000 CL30 memory. Meanwhile, the Core i9 13900K was benchmarked using the MSI MPG Z790 Carbon Wi-Fi with DDR5 7200 memory. Then for the graphics cards, we have the Asus ROG Strix RTX 4090 OC Edition and the Sapphire Nitro Plus RX 7900 XTX Vapor X. A lot of X's there.
My
And
God,
these cards have been benchmarked at 1080p.
that makes better. More X's makes better, guys.
4K. So
True story.
let's get into it. Starting with the Hogwarts Legacy results, we find that there's a few interesting things going on here. Firstly, at 1080p, we see that the 7800X 3D is actually 13% faster when using the 7900 XTX when compared to what we saw with the what should be much faster RTX 4090. However, due to the CPU bottleneck at this low resolution, the reduced overhead of the Radeon.
So, right out of the gates here, guys, as far as testing overhead goes, I'm not specifically sure why he's testing. I guess Intel and AMD are going to handle it differently, right? But you're not really testing overhead unless you end up in a bound scenario, and both these are very, very adequate processors. So, I mean, you would have had to have added a lot more data points, but like more so than more data points, like unless you're going to do that. More importantly than testing both AMD and Intel in this case, which is CPUs, would just be to test a bound scenario in the first place. Because otherwise, like, you know, i9 and i3, right? Or 7800X3D and a 7600, right? So a low-end CPU, then you can see what it deals with as far as the overhead goes, because this doesn't really show you the overhead. Like, there's differences here, but like you need like an apples to apples comparison. Like you need Intel CPUs, two different Intel CPUs and two different AMD CPUs, or at the very least either or of the two, so you can see what's happening there. Like that'd just be a relook at his 2021 video. But like, what do these results even matter? I guess looking purely at the idea of AMD or Intel overhead, like which handles the overhead better, I guess is what this comes down to. But not really, because you don't have two data points for each one of them. You can't look at the difference between a low end and a high end AMD processor or Intel. So I don't really think this tests exactly what they're looking for here, and whether or not they handle it better, you need basically two sets of data points from each one. You need to be tested with low end and a high end AMD and a low end and high end Intel, or just low end and high end AMD, or vice versa. But you need a low end and a high end to see the difference, because it's just comparing high end CPUs. But the driver overhead's not really a big deal with high end CPUs, so. Maybe even more so than that is testing low-end CPUs instead of like the high-end stuff. I don't actually know. I don't particularly know what this test is for. Besides, I guess someone somewhere requested it, probably on their Patreon or something.
GPU actually affords the CPU a bit more headroom, hence the higher frame rate. It's a similar story for the 1300K, which saw an 11% boost with the Radeon GPU. It's also interesting to note that whereas the 7800X 3D was 3% faster than the 1300K when using the 4090, it's 5% faster with the 7900 XTX. A minor difference for sure, but it's a clear indication that the Ryzen 7 processor is faster in this title. Then once we increase the resolution to 1440p, the results become mostly GPU limited, though the 4090 is still causing a few overhead issues for the 1300K.
Like if this is AMD versus Intel CPUs, then they should be looking at the low-end AMD versus Intel CPUs for overhead, how they're handling the overhead. But if this is particularly about the overhead between NVIDIA and AMD, then they need a high-end and a low-end CPU of either vendor or both vendors.
But that gets sorted out at 4K, and here we are 100% GPU limited, and as such the 4090 is now 27% faster than the 7900 XTX. Now retesting Hogwarts Legacy, but with ray tracing enabled, we find that for the most part, the results are GPU limited at 1440p and 4K, with an apparent CPU limitation at 1080p. Interestingly, the 1300K does perform better with the Radeon GPU, though there is very little in it when comparing the average frame rate. Next up, we have Spider-Man Remastered, and here we're seeing slightly better average and 1% low performance at 1080p when using the 7900 XTX. Then at 1440p, the 7800X 3D does perform better with the Radeon GPU, while the 1% lows of the 1300K were improved, though the average frame rate does take a bit of a hit. Then at
Like, you'd have to look at the difference between the high and the low end CPU for AMD and Intel. The differences between that, and then you could associate the differences, how well it scales between the CPUs, between the models of GPUs. So I'd actually say, like, remember how we were talking about with GN, regardless of him making fun of LTT for basically having erroneous results. Like, if you don't necessarily test the right things either, then you just kind of up with data that doesn't really show you a whole lot of anything, which is kind of what's going on here. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe I misunderstood the intro here, and this is something just, I guess, that people requested. Also, I wish this had 0.1%. They still don't have 0.1%.
4K, as you'd expect, were entirely
Unrelated.
limited, though again, the 7800X 3D does fare better relative to the 1300K when using the Radeon GPU. Then with ray tracing enabled, we find some interesting results. The 7800X 3D was actually faster at both 1080p and 1440p when paired with the 7900 XTX, whereas the 13900K didn't see the same great results. This also means, whereas the Ryzen 7 processor was just 2% faster than the 1300K at 1080p when paired with the RTX 4090, it was 10% faster once both CPUs were using the 7900 XTX, so that's a very interesting result. The Far Cry 6 results highlight the GeForce overhead issue quite well. Firstly, we see when using the 7900 XTX at 1080p that the 1% lows for both CPUs are higher. I wouldn't say they're much higher, we're talking about a 7 to 8% boost, so not nothing, but not huge either. But what's really interesting here is the fact that the 7800X 3D was 2% faster when using the 4090, while the 1300K was 6% faster when paired with the Radeon GPU. This also meant that whereas the 7800X 3D was 10% faster than the 1300K when both CPUs were paired with the 4090, it was just 1% faster when both were using the 7900 XTX. Then we see as we increase the resolution, the results become even more unusual, as now the 7900 XTX is enabling a higher level of performance than the 4090 for both CPUs. And then once we hit the 4K resolution, we are largely GPU bound, though the 7900 XTX is very similar to the 4090 in terms of performance in this title. Now, the Hitman 3 results are very unusual, and they look a bit wrong, but I have triple checked them, and for whatever reason, the 1300K is
Probably using
much
eCores.
slower
Usually
than
when you see shit like this, guys, so I use the 3900K for a little bit of time, for a month, as you guys know, before I bought my 7950X3D. And when I was testing it is sometimes games do not properly, as with Windows in general, utilize the right cores, and if a game starts using eCores or does really stupid shit as far as like hyperthreading goes, it really cripples the performance. So much so that motherboard vendors actually have a button. You can hotkey a button for turning off eCores that'll just turn it off when the game's, like when Windows is running, which is kind of fucking hilarious. But yeah, like it's kind of like a brute force workaround for weird shit like this, which probably means that Hitman is not utilizing it. And once again, remember how we were talking about with Perfmon, they were the new tools, right? Like with Beyond GPU Time or whatever it's called, where benchmarkers are supposed to look and figure out what's going on in the background. You probably could figure this out by actually looking at the CPU graphs in the background. Like, you probably could figure out what the game's doing in the background if you actually look at the CPU while this game's running.
X3D when using the 7900 XTX. I'm not sure if this has something to do with resizable bar. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to investigate this.
More than like the eCores. I don't even have resizable bar on. It actually made it feels like higher input lag. It's really weird. I actually have it off. 4G decoding and resizable bar. I actually have worse performance using it, or worse experience using it. I'm sure the FPS is actually higher, but with it on.
So performance between the two CPUs is much the same. Now,
That's
another
why I
game to
want a
show this
reflex
very
monitor so I
odd
can just
type of
test like
behaviour is
input delay.
Horizon Zero Dawn. Though
But
the
even then,
results
it's
here
not
are
like
quite
input delays and
unusual.
everything as far as peripheral input goes, because then you have the consistency of the refreshes which are coming through, which is what mouse tester tests, right? Consistency of the input, and then the data that's in the packets from each mouse update. Some of it might be erroneous, in which case it might just be garbage anyways. So we've talked about before, but like some mice, for instance, beyond certain DPI will actually start interpolating the data. So they'll actually start making shit up. And that's, if you've ever turned on the CGI effect on your TV or, whatever it is where you can like watch at higher frame rate, right? It makes up stuff, and if you turn it up too high, it leads to a bunch of like error in the screen where it's just going random places. Mice are exactly the same way. Peripheral input is like still the black box of hardware benchmarking and testing in general. So much so that mice are just like how it feels. A lot of results are just how it feels, with the exception being like input. So input latency as well as like RTings with. We'll do like error rate, and I think the error rate they check based on running two mice next to each other and using like mouse tester and having two mice do the same thing, so they have a baseline to test it against, which isn't necessarily like a good way of testing things, but it's like the only way to test things. So
as the 7800X3D was consistently faster than the 13900K. Still, although the Ryzen 7 processor was 10% faster at 1080p when using the RTX 4090, you'd expect that margin to shrink with the slower 7900 XTX. Yet the opposite happens, and now the 7800X3D is 20% faster, and the 1% lows of the 1300K fall off a cliff. This also means if you are testing Radeon GPU performance in this title with an Intel CPU, it could favour the GeForce GPU by widening the gap. Having said that though, this was really only seen at 1080p. The 1440p data makes a lot more sense. Here the 7800X3D was 9% faster using the 4090, and as you'd expect, that margin did shrink slightly with the slower Radeon GPU to 8%. Yet another game to see the 1300K struggle with the 7900 XTX at 1080p is Rainbow Six Siege, and it's another example where the 1% lows are particularly weak relative to what you'd expect based on what we see with the 7800X3D. For example, the 1% lows of the Ryzen 7 processor were 10% greater when using the GeForce GPU, but that figure ballooned out to 25% with the 7900 XTX. But once again, we see that by the time we hit the 1440p resolution, the strange scaling behavior is masked by a heavy GPU bottleneck.
Which just kind of makes the results pointless at that point.
Though the 1300K was consistently a few frames faster when using the 7900 XTX, seen at 1080p and 1440p before the results become heavily GPU bound at 4K with the Radeon GPU. Meanwhile, GPU scaling with the 7800X3D looks pretty much as you'd expect. The Resident Evil 4 results also look as you'd expect, at least for the most part. The only result that looks a bit out of place is the 1300K 1080p data, where we find the Intel CPU is actually faster when using the Radeon GPU. But again, this is a GeForce overhead issue, and with the 7800X3D being faster in this game, it wasn't an issue there. The A Plague Tale Requiem results are also largely CPU limited at 1080p, and again, we see that the 1300K did perform a little better with the Radeon GPU as it reduces CPU load. It's not a massive difference, we're looking at a 7% improvement here, but other than that, the results are as expected. Despite being a very CPU demanding game, Watch Dogs Legion doesn't have any strange CPU scaling issues for us. The margins were slightly more favourable for the 7800X3D when using the 7900 XTX, going from 24% faster with the 4090 to 31% faster with the 7900 XTX. Then we have the Rift Breaker, and the data from this point is pretty much what you'd expect to find. So consistent scaling between the GeForce and Radeon GPUs.
I love Rift Breaker.
And we see that is indeed the case here. Both CPUs are more than powerful enough to extract the maximum level of GPU performance in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
But you have to use a low-end
CPU.
CPU.
Where the Radeon GPUs do perform very well. The 7900 XTX provided a little more headroom at 1080p, at least when comparing the average frame rate, but beyond that the data is very typical. Next up we have The Last of Us Part 1, and the results here are also fairly typical and mostly GPU limited. So there's not much to report here really. The RTX 4090 is 25% faster than the 7900 XTX at 1080p, and by the time we reach the 4K resolution that margin has extended out to 30%. The Star Wars Jedi Survivor scaling is also as expected. The
Or I
margin in
guess you could
favour
run
of
at
the
a lower
7800
resolution than
X380 was a
1080p.
little larger using the RTX 4090 at 1080p.
Like 720 or
Scaling in
360.
general was very similar.
If you don't plan on
Then once
playing
we
in
hit
it,
the
it would
1440p
allow the
resolution,
CPU to
results were
stretch
almost
more.
entirely GPU limited, allowing the 4090 to beat the 1700 XTX by a 36% margin. The Halo Infinite results also look pretty typical, though the 1700 XTX might be a bit slower than expected at 1080p, but in any case, we're looking at fairly normal scaling with no odd results due to the GeForce overhead or anything like that. The Total War Warhammer 3 results also look normal with no unusual scaling between the 7800 X380 and 1300K, so we're mostly looking at GPU performance here and not necessarily CPU performance, or at least we're not finding the limits of these CPUs with either GPU. There's also nothing out of the ordinary to report in F122. The results here look almost entirely GPU limited. And it's the same story in Cyberpunk 2077, though here the 1300K does a little better when paired with the RTX 4090, while the 7800 X380 does a little better with the 7900 XTX, but we're only talking about a 4% margin in either direction. And then once we enable ray tracing, the data becomes heavily GPU limited.
A GPU
and
bottleneck.
we're seeing identical performance with both CPUs.
Well, I
The
guess.
second last game we have is the Callisto Protocol, and the data here is fairly typical of what you'd probably expect to see when looking at these hardware configurations. The 7900 XTX data, for example, is largely GPU limited, so there's not much to report here. And then finally, we have Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and again, the data here is largely GPU limited, especially when using the Radeon GPU, so let's go wrap this thing up. Okay, so we've just taken a look at how the Ryzen 7 7800X3D and Core i9 13900K compare across a wide range of games using both the RTX 4090 and 7900 XTX. That is a mouthful of product names, but now it's time to break down all of the data. So what would a change in GPU do for our overall data? Not much. On average, the 7800 X3D was just 5% faster than the 1300K at 1080p when using the RTX 4090, and while you'd expect that margin to shrink with what is really a slower GPU in the 7900
What really matters here
XTX,
is like
it actually
testing low-end
grew ever
CPUs.
so slightly to 7%. However, the overhead issue, which provided somewhat unexpected results at 1080p, it isn't seen nearly as often at the more GPU-limited 1440p resolution. Here, the 7800 X3D was just 4%
It's testing
faster than
1440p and 4K
1300K
kind of pointless.
when using the RTX 4090, and that margin
So
was
I think
slightly
a
reduced
better
to
result here would have been even just testing 1080p. Testing 1080p with the high-end Intel and a low-end Intel, high-end AMD and a low-end AMD CPU, that is, in addition to the XTX and the 4090. And even just like scrapping 1440p and 4K, because those are GPU bound, and just like what showed up here, as you could expect, it just kind of not really, overhead's not really an issue anymore, so.
7900 XTX. Then, of course, the results at 4K, they're entirely GPU limited, and the results for both CPUs end up being the same. Probably the most surprising thing about all of this testing is the fact that it wouldn't really matter if we use the 7900 XTX or the RTX 4090 for our CPU
Also,
testing.
7600
The overall
X3
margins would have been much the
is,
same.
they still, I don't think they even tested it. But I mean, they could test it without actually getting 7600 X3D by turning off two of the cores on the X3D, 7800 X3D.
And therefore, we would have drawn all
But
the
that'd be
same
curious
conclusions.
because the extra cache might actually prove useful. Actually, maybe they couldn't because they would have to disable part of the cache too, and I don't think it does by disabling the CPU.
XTX rather than the RTX 4090 for our CPU testing, the juicy Reddit drama would have been at next level. So I guess a bit of an opportunity missed there. Of course, the RTX 4090 does make the most sense for such testing, but it is nice to know that the 7900 XTX would have resulted in the same outcome. Now, on an individual level, the results were really interesting, especially in titles such as Hogwarts Legacy. Nvidia's overhead issue really did rear its ugly head in that example, and it was surprising to see that even when comparing two very powerful CPUs, that there was up to a 20% performance discrepancy seen when looking at the 1% lows. And previous testing done back in 2021 did reveal that GeForce GPUs could result in a 20% performance penalty for CPU-limited gaming, and this was typically highlighted with weaker CPUs. But seeing this in Hogwarts Legacy with top-end gaming CPUs was really interesting, and finally having a truly high-end Radeon GPU makes exposing the overhead issue a lot easier. And this is likely going to be an even bigger issue for slower CPUs, and maybe that's something we can look at with a more updated games list later on in the year. For now, though, I hope this testing has satisfied those of you who requested it. And I'm going to wrap this one up.
I don't know what the ones that were requesting this were looking for, to be perfectly honest. So no, this isn't Steve's fault.
GRE by the time you're watching this video, I suppose. Anyway, hoping to have that in the next few days so we can get a video out
Steve, isn't it?
next week. But I'm going off topic here. I guess the point I'm trying to make is you should subscribe because there is more CPU and GPU content to come if you hadn't sort of suspected that would be the case anyway. If you appreciate the work we do at Hard Unboxed, then feel free to sign up at Patreon or Floatplane account. Links in the video description. If you do so, you'll get some pretty cool perks in return. Access to monthly live streams to myself. We have an exclusive Discord server for members only.
Him. It's not Chris.
Q&A stuff, behind the scenes content, a few cool things there. So check that out if you're interested. But if not, perfectly fine. I would like to thank you for watching this video. I'm your host, Steve. See you again next time.
This is Steve. The other guy's name is Tim. I thought it was a Chris. I thought the other guy's Chris. This guy's Chris. Tim? Chris? I don't know now. He normally does like modders and stuff. We haven't watched him in forever. Okay. Interesting, but yeah. All right, let's move on, guys. Let's take a look at the Reddits here, guys, and then we're gonna move on to the Overwatch. OWs. I got some lovely mail. What do I have? Oh. You especially play competitive because they want to get higher rank with cheats? Hey, Sega. Frederick. Bond says Rhetoric would also work there. Good. We are? Oh my god, are you a hive mind? No way. Hive mind returns. It's coming for us, guys. 52 hours of Life Weaver, I got a pot G. Good. Okay. AMD Reddits. I am doing lovely. How about yourself? I'm not reviewing your product. I'm not watching your YouTube video. And I'm not subscribing to your OnlyFans. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Smart Access Memory is the same as Rebar. I believe it is. It's just the AMD rebranded version of it. That is a marketing word for Rebar with driver optimizations. Okay. We got anything else going on here? It is the weekend. Well, the end of the weekend, guys. Start of the Mondays. Just took a look at that. No idea, and I'm not looking at your profile pic. That definitely just makes me not want to click on your profile pic now. So, good. I do not clicking the sex link. Okay, let's move on, guys. We're gonna play some OW2s now. Alrighty. Okay. Let's get into the Gamazes here, guys. We're gonna change gears, get into the OW2s. Good. Podcast over. Alrighty. Okay. Off we go, guys. Let's see. Had some pretty good games yesterday, guys. Looks like we're getting the input dialed in for the first time, probably playing Overwatch. It actually feels pretty good. Like, actually good and consistently good. I'm playing off stream too, and the off-stream performance feels very similar to on-stream performance as well, which is also good. So, turn on some VRB here. I still want my new monitor. Apparently the monitor guys have been waiting for playing Overwatch the entire year since January is finally, the PG248QP is finally coming out. Probably at Christmas. Probably in November. Oh god. I think probably if I knew that it was coming out in November, I would have bought an OLED monitor and gotten like a stand where I could move my monitor up and down in front of my other monitor. And then I just use the OLED monitor only while gaming. So prevent burn-in, basically, is what it comes down to. And then just use a different monitor, probably my old monitor, just all the time. Okay.
Prepare for battle. Select your hero.
Bye, Doob.
Strike from above. Ooh, I live for this. I've got a good feeling. Greetings. 5, 4, 3. Want to know the forecast? 1. Round 1. Capture the objective. Position. I see an enemy.
Doomfist is incredibly common in... Okay. Quick play. Get him? Nope. I think that was actually up too high to really do anything useful, so blowing that up probably wasn't even a good idea, because now she's going to redeploy it, where before she probably didn't even see that it wasn't doing anything, so...
Okay, my head's in the game. Repositioning.
Thanks, Sola.
Enemy getting up.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Positioning underway. Was this sad?
Good. Get 100% accurate Hanzo. Oh, okay.
En route.
That was the Widowmaker and why I've been playing the edges so much. Good. Fuck off, Mercy. Also extremely accurate McCree. Reg.
Making another
No one can hide from my sight.
fire at will.
God.
I will fire. I will lead us to victory.
Justice reigns from above. I am secure.
Even look confused there too. What?
All systems nominal.
The fuck?
0-1.
I see it. Completely unintentional from the looks of it, so
Wherever they hide,
I don't think that's foul play.
we will dig them out.
There was literally no time for that guy to react to anything that went on there.
Stay sharp. It's harder to keep you alive when you're distracted.
Enhancing your strength for the assist.
Uh-huh.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture.
Mercy on call. Moira by your side.
Fuck off. Good.
The skies await. Aerial positioning underway.
Trying to punch me, as mentioned before, guys. Dude, how the fuck do you just survive in the middle of my teammate? Fuck. I just fucked up everything. No. Pretty sure the Hanzo is cheating, i.e. the Mercy, or the Ashe. Mercy.
Establishing aerial position.
Join me on the objective.
Just tried to shoot me through the wall.
I will not waste this opportunity.
Good.
Meteor strike. Increasing altitude.
Fucking turret, guys.
I have the power.
fucking pegging me through trees. Perfectly fine. No. So the Ash is 100% cheating. We're gonna take a look at the McCree at the end of this. Cramming me through walls too. Good. Alright. Let's see. What do we beg? Tell. Let's take a look at the McCree. Also can't tell. Let's see if they're in groups together. Two people are player not found, and 2 people are in groups. So, off screen. So only one person wasn't in a group there, and it looks like the 2 people already rage quit, who were in a group or left. All right, so we're reporting for sure the Woodpecker, who's 100% accurate. This is the Ash. Yeah, the same shit. Like, they don't even care about their placement at all because it doesn't matter. Like, they purely can kill anyone they want, so they just stand out in the open. It's like literally, I don't know if you guys have ever been through like the COD years that are really, really bad, where you get people with spin bots, and literally all they do is fucking stand in the open and hold down the trigger button. And that's like the kind of shit we just dealt with. That person did not miss at all. Let's take a look at the. That's the way it goes, though. Late night games are especially worse compared to normal games. Good evening, NX. Because it misses. Has nothing to do with difficulty of shots. Looks like he has a percent miss. See if we can get some juicy wall looks. Missing really, really easy shots too. I'm pretty sure there's a percent miss, which is generally what people use when they don't want to get banned. The Ash wasn't missing at all. The only reason we're looking at this is because this guy actually misses. With percent misses, it's pretty easy to tell when generally pretty easy to tell when it's percent miss. The distribution of shots will be about the same around the character, and the difficulty of shots will not actually impact how easy it is to actually hit a player.
Maybe a different angle. Now the dead eye's ready. My ultimate's ready. How's it going?
Good.
How you?
Distracting the Zen behind the wall. Like just now when he shot at me, like I was moving in a straight line and he was going straight at me. That should have been easy hits on both shots. Should have been easy hits and he still missed them.
Stuck your landing, huh?
Not quite pre-aim because he's not looking at people behind walls.
That'll get it done.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Actually got pre-aim there. Good, good, good.
Justice reigns from above.
This is where he accidentally shot me. See if this crosshair actually moved while it was going up in the air. This is completely accidental. Did he even shoot me? The fuck? His crosshair's not even on me. Like, I mean, it was on me, but it's not when he shot. Like, it was right in my left foot. Maybe it hit one of my tail fins? Like, his aim isn't even over my leg at all. So maybe he hit my tail fin. I have no idea. I don't know how he killed me. This must be desync with the kill cam. Or this guy might be, like, cross, like, has a high ping. I'm still alive right here. And there's nothing actually in his line of sight. Like, he can't actually shoot me right now. I actually don't know how he killed me. I thought he shot me in the chest. He didn't. He didn't even shoot me.
Good thing going. Let's not mess it up. Eyes on the bad guys.
There's a lot of misses. And he just hits all his fucking shots. Maybe it's a manual toggle. I don't think so. Like I said, the distribution looks pretty much on point. I think the cheat's doing this for him. People don't consistently miss, guys. I.e., it's the same distance around the character every time. And then my teammates didn't kill this guy. Tried to shoot me through the bridge. Good. Hopefully we get a nice juicy pre-aim or shoot into the wall, pre-shot into the wall. Wall shot.
The enemy is being resurrected.
Where was I?
Heroes never die. Hello.
Thank you kindly.
Okay.
Much obliged.
Definitely looked like he was tracing the Zarya right now. I think he figured that out and he unlocked his aim. He was actually tracking the Zarya behind the wall.
Thank you kindly.
Obviously you can see through the shutters a little bit, but it was pretty exact, and I think it was before she was in front of the shutters. The lattice. It just locked, and he manually tried to unlock it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he, yeah. So was it like 610? Like he noticed it was locked onto her, and then he unlocked it manually, flicked away. Right here is when it locks on, he flicks it away. Gravitates to the Zarya again. Flicks it away again.
Much obliged.
And that's not really definitive. I was hoping for some better spots there. By the way, concussion missile, guys, I mentioned this before. Concussion missile fucking sucks. Concussion missile on Pharah is terrible. You cannot get boops for the life of you unless it's really, like really obvious. It'll almost always push people along edges. Like they designed it to be like idiot proof. So if you get hit by it, you don't die. And it is next to impossible to get boop pills with concussion. They have to be really like precarious spot. Like even if I position it properly between them and the side, they'll just like go booping around the edge of it. Like there's kind of a lip here, but it's like designed to prevent people from getting booped. I think this has something to do with OW1, and they toned down booping because they didn't want to be part of the game or some stupid shit like that. Lucio has the same problem. Not much in the way of wall looking there. Pretty sure he has an aimbot though. Yeah. So even though his accuracy was pretty normal. Yeah, Slane? Even though his accuracy was pretty normal there, guys. It was basically all of his shots were clustered and like almost identically around targets. And like when people are running straight away from him or flying straight into him, like he still misses the shots, even though they're really easy. Good. Ah, late night games. I love late night games. Oh yeah, give me more. Give me more cheaters. Early morning games are also kind of poop too. But it goes. I'd believe it's salt too if I didn't know how easy cheating was in this game. I actually do a disservice to myself, guys, by not cheating.
Strike from above. I'm obviously the most precious.
Every battle makes me stronger.
Obviously the most obnoxious.
Hey there.
I could cheat and never get caught.
Always room for improvement.
No one would ever know. Like I said, I was watching the streamer, what was it, last week, that was doing a challenge where the sensitivity of his mouse would increase. And you could tell when his aimbot was working, and when it unlocked, his aim would like fucking go like this, and all of a sudden it'd get really accurate, and then his aim would fucking go all over the place again. Yeah.
5,
Konnichiwa.
3, 2, 1.
Up and away.
Attackers
Hi.
incoming.
Hey there.
Defend objective A.
And then he did the opposite direction, which was he had to move his mouse an insane amount, so it turned the accuracy down to nothing.
Enemy turret.
Possible pre-aim. So one thing about this game, guys, even if you know where someone is, XY coordinates, so on the ground, you know where they are, you don't know Z height,
Establishing aerial position.
because the game does not have audio for that.
They have a turret.
I really hope they nerf Alari's hitbox on her hit scan rifle, or turn it into a projectile. They could turn into like a shock rifle from like Unreal Tournament. It'd make it much more difficult to use, but then it would actually warrant having a large hitbox to it. Right now it's a hit scan gun with a giant hitbox, so. It said, Doomfist love fucking with you. Thank you. Oh my god, that actually... No! Actually, yes. Fuck you, Widow.
The skies await.
But yeah, if you guys didn't know, so there's 2 guns, well, possibly 3 in the game that use hit scan, but it functions like a projectile. Other one is like Rodov's hook, potentially. Fucking Widows like doing pop shots on you, and they're basically 100% fucking accurate. It's almost guaranteed that they're cheating. When it increases their accuracy 3,000% whenever they do a pop shot, they're cheating for sure. It's pretty common. Tried to line of sight so I could get healed. That was a concussion.
Making another approach.
Enemy
En route. Enemy over here. 60 seconds.
God. The fucking enemy Lucio was more in touch with how much HP I had than my teammates. Also, that looks like an aimbot. We'll take a look at the Lucio at the end of this. It's actually pretty obnoxious when Lucios have aimbots. The Lucio projectiles are extremely... That's actually pretty good. Lucio projectiles are actually extremely difficult to lead. They have very slow travel time. Do. That was pretty good. Hey, buddy. No, I didn't go back over. Good evening, Cyrillic name. You're having a wonderful Sunmun.
I'm on fire.
Aerial positioning underway.
Oh, that's a good sign. Good. So we're gonna take a look at the Widow, and then we're also gonna take a look at damage-wise. We didn't do that bad. Accuracy-wise, we didn't do that bad. Their entire team was trying to kill me. We're gonna take a look at the Widow, and then we're gonna take a look at the Lucio. You'll see, guys, if you watch the replays, you'll see all sorts of weird... We've seen people cheat at every fucking character in the game. It really doesn't matter what it is. They'll cheat at Ryan, they'll cheat at Winston. It doesn't fucking matter. The more weird it is, the more likely they're probably gonna try it, too. Be that Lucio that never fucking misses. Lucio should be pretty easy to see. We might have just gotten unlucky. He has to lead so much on his projectiles. Alright. And Widow, pretty sure she is. We might have just got really unlucky. Let's fast forward a bit. What? Like, none of these are lead at all. This happened.
Hello.
I think we just got unlucky. He put the entire, when he killed me on the ledge there, he put the entire burst into my chest, which is like a linear curve to how it's moving. So every single one of the shots went into my chest. Let's go back and take a look at the Widow. He just tried to shoot me. You can tell he's trying to aim at me.
Show them what you've got. Devastation.
Did though. So a couple things happen here, guys. Depending on the kind of aimbot, if you've made contact with someone like you've shot them, generally it will take priority on them. But what you'll see sometimes is if someone goes in front of your aim, despite them he's trying to kill me right now, it'll take over and they'll start aiming at the new target that's actually closer to them. What I'm looking at right here.
Show them what you've got. Devastation.
Like that.
Show them what you've got. Devastation. Show them what you've got. Devastation.
Maybe it did Junkrat and then it transferred the Doomfist.
Show them what you've got. Devastation.
Trying to kill me. Cracking him behind the wall. This guy's cheating. Cracking the Junkrat behind the wall. Obviously he's going to come out there, but he didn't aim at the doorway. He's looking at the Junkrat behind the wall. So the Widow's 100% cheating. Aim is a little bit trickier to figure out because people are really good at aiming. Eventually, they got to play their Kovacs, but you never gain the ability to look through walls, guys, no matter how much you play the game. The best you can do is figuring out where people are with sound. The pre-aim.
Show them no mercy.
Pre-aiming the Junkrat again. This guy's definitely cheating. We don't need to watch any more of that. That was... We beg a GM? Nope, can't. Can't know, guys. By the way, the rank would have no bearing whatsoever on whether or not I report them. People cheated all different ranks. Just kind of curious to see what people... Sometimes you can figure out when they've bought their gaming chair, which is always fun, but, I really wish, like, if I have to fucking treat this game like, if I have to treat this game like Counter-Strike, where there's, like, Overwatch in the game, I don't know how this game doesn't have Overwatch in it. Like, they try to make it seem like there isn't cheating in the game or something. I have to take a piss, though. Like, they really don't want you to know that there's cheating in the game or such. You know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. All you have to type is Google. You have to do a simple Google search. There's Google cheats available for the game. It's in a pretty poor state. And that's where Overwatch is right now. Okay. I'm gonna take a piss, guys. I'll be right back. Grab a water. 1 second. Don't cheat unless you get caught. True story. True story. And there's a lot of people I would say that stream and cheat too. It's kind of sad. It's the way things work. Excuse me, Rolex. The. Oh, let's make. I'm gonna make a tweet at Play Overwatch about that. Number of ports. Okay. Love the schedule feature on Twitter. Schedule feature is phenomenal. And schedule. I mean, if it's a single player game, you can cheat all you want. Mods, whatever. Doesn't matter. Do you? Multiplayer games is when it becomes a problem because your cheating isn't just about your fun and steps on everyone else's dick, right? There's no problem with it. I think everyone's cheated at some point. Not in single player games. I think a lot. Not everyone's cheated in multiplayer games, but most people have either cheated at some point in multiplayer games or know someone personally that has cheated in multiplayer games. I'd go that far and say that. I've cheated in multiplayer games when I was younger. Ruined all the fun. I stopped doing that.
You can't touch me. I don't think so. My rockets are fuel. Double kill. You're taking off.
Now I'm stuck spending 2 times as much time out of games as in games reporting people.
Taken down.
No one does it. People are pretty oblivious to cheating in video games, so except the cheaters themselves. Don't want you to know. Nice.
Justice rains from above. Triple kill. Multiple hits confirmed.
Good old gaslighting. You're just bad at video games. I play my mom's based in 24/7 365. My third eye Jagan open. Didn't your third eye Jagan open, chat? I'm sure it did. I don't want to know what Penguin Club is. That's okay.
Prepare for battle. Select your
Keep your Penguin Club. Oh, is this a guy that cheats? This is a guy that I've reported before. Yes, it is. Been banned yet. I think this was yesterday. Or maybe this morning that I reported him. Occasionally, if I see a guy multiple times, guys, I put him on ignore, so I can tell when they have a new account. So what cheaters do, is they realize that no one gives a shit, and they'll buy a new account. They won't make one. They'll buy a new account, and they'll just change it to their old name. So Nathan232 then buys another Battle.net account and renames it to Nathan20, Battle.net Tag 2432. So if you have them on ignore, you can tell when they have a new account because it won't be ignored anymore. Ignore is account wide, so they're always on your ignore list.
capture the objective.
Being able to see name change.
Squad up.
I don't. That was a typo. Yeah. Huh.
Establishing aerial position.
I have you. Keep fighting. Over there.
I don't stay down. Repositioning. Enemy over here. I don't think so.
Good.
Taking down the air.
Who the fuck's their tank? On the point right now? Me. Oh, he's dead.
Objective is mine.
Taking off.
Hurry.
Good.
On the move. Justice.
Alright. And Mercy can come for a res. Hopefully my teammates will intercept it. Oh. Nope.
Let's show him some
They did
air
not.
power.
Exit.
Time for the reckoning.
Completely pointless. Almost. Good shit. Let's check for pre-made.
Time to kick some tail.
Group. What people will sometimes do, by the way, is they'll leave group when they enter the match too. So it was the end of the round. I don't feel bad about that. I don't understand why people join spectate when you invite them to a group, but they do. No idea why. It's the only way to check for parties, though. And people, even after checking, people will still lie through their teeth whether or not they're actually in a group. So, one of the reasons you actually do check. Hmm.
3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Change of plans. Let's win this time.
Here's a meat too. Good.
Hot enough.
Careful. We're
All
outnumbered.
systems nominal. Taking to the air.
Thank you.
Thanks for the assist. Increasing altitude. I knew I could count on you.
Turn to camp so the Mercy doesn't res. Oh my god, she fucking's right there. So the soul dropped off the roof? No, it's a different soul. And 100% accurate. Not 100% accurate.
I'm taking the objective. I've got you covered.
Alari? Alari has a bigger hitbox though, so
Aerial positioning underway.
doesn't need to shoot you to shoot you. You can also shoot your head without being on your head. It's always interesting.
Enemy here.
And gonna res. There's the res. Is he gonna intercept? Nope. Still killed the Mercy though.
Okay, my head's in the game.
Target is on
Increasing
side.
altitude.
Nano boost administered.
Rains from above.
Ah, good, good, good. One, what is 6v6? 6v6 was better.
On the move.
I While I do like 6v6 better, I also acknowledge that the game had problems with Q10s for tanks, so. Farah is absolutely suicidal, but it works that way when you don't actually need to fucking try, so. Pretty envious when you see Farahs flying around and no one's fucking shooting at them. I'm like, why can't I get an enemy team that does that? Why do I always fucking play against people that fucking shoot at me constantly? You went way deep.
This ends now.
100% accurate. Soj. Was the soldier a Lari that shot me? This guy's cheating for sure. This is the guy I was mentioning reported. He's 100% like snapping between players. Good. That was this morning though. First gonna ignore the Farah. Oh, yep, got her. I knew it was gonna happen. We had to make sacrifices, guys.
Heroes never die. Helden sterben nicht.
Hello.
Always more to learn.
Hello there.
Here. Overtime.
I do one trick. What does one trick have to do with anything that's going on here? Sure, the healer. Nice. Good. Hope, guys. There's hope. There's still hope. You notice how I hold my you notice how I hold my mouse, but you don't actually notice how little I move my hand. Privacy. Melee what? That's unfortunate. What's going on here? They're all going underground. The McCree is the Sojourn, and so was cheating. Pretty sure. Yes, go down there. Oh! Did I get her? No. That did.
I will not waste this opportunity. Enemy over here.
Nice. Actually, no, it's not. No. The Soj is now on, hey, look, Tracer. I assume it looks like a lobster.
Shake it off. Repositioning.
Also hate that bug. Make it. So Tracer we know is cheating. Good. I see. Oh, the Anna. That was actually a perfect spot. I didn't care if I died. That was a perfect, absolutely perfect spot there, guys. To, everyone pushed back. Tank took too much space. They didn't even need to leave. Like, 'cause it's just the tank up there. Our tank's there, and Jesus fucking Christ, his aim's like literally snapping between players behind walls, like back and forth between players behind walls. He doesn't even care if he gets banned. Okay. You gotta take space before they res. I don't know why the fucking... And he fucking walked back into it. Nice. I'm also pretty sure the McCree's cheating. Go down here. Zero. Nice timing. Fucking kid. He fucking me too'd me. Oh, that's hilarious. I saw him solo the fucking Orisa. I'm gonna do it too. Literally right on me. That was only meant for me. That wasn't the point. Difference being I'm not a tank. Nice. And C9. That's beautiful. Oh yeah, that's the comeback, guys. That was a beautiful comeback. Don't forget to thank your healers. Oh my god. Anna enables me. Yeah. We're gonna immediately report Nathan, which, as I mentioned before, I've already reported before. He's definitely cheating. And okay, let's take a look at 3. Good. Absolutely turned that around. We got a good healer, guys. Just absolutely changed that game. I think our healer changed out. Their DPS changed. They had a Me Too Pharah. Then they went. It wasn't when he was playing Pharah. Might have actually been while playing Pharah. Certain aimbots are not very good at projectiles. It's why cheaters almost always use hit scan, because it takes better programming to make a projectile aimbot, especially one that looks human. Because aiming a projectile is more difficult than using hit scan, which just aims at a pixel. He's cheating. Well, he's already cheating. He's using a wall hack, which is where you can see him pre-aiming the targets through the wall before he even comes around the corner. I don't know if he has a projectile aimbot, though. If he does, it's really shit. Sometimes the aimbots for projectiles is really terrible. Pre-aiming again. Good.
Doesn't look like he does.
He definitely still has a wall hack, though. And thought he was cheating not in this round. I thought he was cheating in the next round when he's playing Tracer. Or McCree, not Tracer. I thought this was a Sojourn, which was the guy I know is cheating. Well, very certain is cheating. Not. Outplayed, yeah.
I'll take the point.
Yeah, it's amazing how much +2 to aim actually helps you. Crazy, right? Trying to shoot people behind walls right now. Aimbots do have a set miss. Also missing really easy shots, and then he hits really hard shots. Yeah, which is generally what happens when you have a set miss. If you're 100% accurate, there's stat-based banning in the game, which means you get banned if you're 100% accurate, which is why you don't see people walking around with insta-locks. It's called, general category is called humanization features. But regardless of aim, I'd report him specifically because of the pre-aim on last map. Oh, that was beautiful. Generally with percent miss, you'll see a distribution, depending on how it's programming, you'll see the distribution of misses being about equal around players, too. It could also be a manual toggle, which is he only toggles when it matters, which is also something that's really annoying. You only toggle aim when it really matters, so when the team fight isn't won. And then when the team fight's won, he toggles off again. Like, this guy can't time shots properly, but is insanely accurate.
I am strong and free.
Missing the world's easiest targets here. He fucking hit that. Good. Yeah, he's pretty. It's also I call it a targeted cheat. I don't know if it has a name, but there's all sorts of ways of getting around the stat-based banning in the game. One of which is if you see someone performing well, you only have the cheat aimbot on certain players. So, like, if I'm performing well, or the other DPS, the Bastion, is performing well, or the healer is performing well, basically the aimbot will only work on those players, which means you'll have normal, even lower than normal accuracy on everyone else. But certain players, you'll insta-gib, and that completely changes the game, right? Because an MMR in a game, each lobby is filled with players at different MMRs. Highest MMR player obviously being able to carry the most, right? So low MMR players, you know, if you kill them, it doesn't really matter. But you kill the guy that's doing all the work, you know, then all of a sudden the fucking game, like, their team just falls over. There's a lot of strategy. I don't want to make it sound like it's respectable or not, but there's a lot of strategy involved with cheating to make it just like fuck the enemy team without actually fucking yourself.
I'm really feeling the heat.
Those fucking missed shots on that hog. The hog's literally a moving truck, guys. He's the easiest thing to hit. Ferris Garble, I like her. I really enjoy playing her, specifically because of the movement involved with her and the flying. But Echo is 100% better than Pharah. Hands down, Echo's better than Pharah, for sure. Her kit's just better. She's better at anti-air. She's better at cooldown dumping, too. This guy's reaction time sucks and makes him miss those shots a lot, too. He's not really wall looking like he was last game. Oh.
Securing the point. Pull in.
I think that's ESP. So ESP can stand for a lot of different things. People oftentimes include wall hacks under ESP, but ESP extrasensory perception. But I consider ESP oftentimes things that are just miscellaneous. ESP sometimes will include a line drawn from the barrel of a person's gun. So as you can imagine, being able to see behind you. If the Ana fires a shot from her or is aiming down her barrel, you get a line drawn across your screen. So even though he can't see the Ana right now, I guarantee you this wasn't commed. Even though he can't see the Ana right now, he knows when the Ana's aiming at him. He does actually have a little bit here. Is this when he turns and looks? There's a tiny bit there. Maybe that registered really late. Misses, like, I'm pretty sure this is a percent miss, though. Like, the difficulty shot is nothing. Like, he just fucking hit that Mercy and missed the Ana that was just walking at him. He missed the fucking truck earlier. Also, Hog. That's hitting all the shots. But it's too late, and he's C9'd. He's not very good. Report him regardless. Is mainly, like, he didn't do a lot of wall looking in the second round or pre-aim through walls. It was primarily in first round. Round 2. So we played 3. We lost the first one. No. We only played 2 rounds. No, we played 3. We'll figure it out next game. So what? Fucking, we played a 9-minute match, guys, and I spent 20 minutes looking at footage. 12 minutes. That's not that bad. It could have been worse. We didn't do super horrible at the end there. We got some good healers, and then everything changed. Actually, maybe our healers just did better. I'm not sure. Got some tasty heals and completely changed. Guys for sure cheating though. Like I said, if I see people multiple times that are cheating, and by the way, just because someone's a TTV doesn't even mean the stream. People will put that in their name just so you don't report them. It's conveys authority or confidence that they're not cheating because streamers don't cheat, right? And that's totally not true either. Don't care. Yeah, 100% cheats though. I think I reported this guy because I have him blocked. I think I reported this guy this morning, but I've definitely seen this name before, which is why I blocked him.
Strike from above. Aerial positioning under double messy, but we got it done.
Next game. Good evening, Father. Fat. Good evening, Fat. This will be another name. I used to do this back in Overwatch 2. We're going to cam off for the game and cam back on. You got 16 gold guns. Oh my god. Did you just buy your account? Wow. You're gold guns now. Oh, this is my hate squad if I remember right. I haven't seen these guys in forever. I believe they cheat too. 100% cheat.
Strike from above.
Guy's still in the game though. Where I had them on ignore. So it's probably gonna be we're definitely gonna get cheated on. We'll see. Last time back when we played OW2 earlier this year prior to BattleBit and Riftbreaker, we had a run-in with these guys that would basically hound me constantly. So more than likely gonna cheat. What do you call a beer with no ears? What? What are even beers at? What? Oh. Oh! You removed the ears from the beer. Oh! Oh! Very punny. That didn't boop him off because Farah's concussion's impotent. Get him? Yes, we did. Nice, and he strafed it into it. Got that. You guys would be surprised how much turning off the face cam reduces fatigue and, oh my god, stress. It's amazing. Fear with new ears. Oh, that was a pre-nade. That's interesting.
Always more to learn.
Yeah. Are you copying them from a book? You better not be copying from the book. From a website. Get him? No. Pretty close. Guy definitely cheats.
I don't want to talk about it.
Still, I guess. Because I have him on ignore. Good.
Team kill.
Your splash is charging the enemy. Okay. Oh, alright.
All systems nominal. Come on, team. Push the payload.
Just don't do damage because you might charge the enemy's ult. Get right on that.
Messy, but we got it done. Aerial positioning underway.
Oh my god, timing.
On the move. I see an enemy. Enemy here.
Trying to track me? Yeah. Okay. Bye. Alright. That was bait. That was 100% bait to get me to go over there so she could two-tap me. I said, this is a cheat squad. It's 2 guys I've played with before. I always do the same shit. We could check for squad and see how big it is too. Nice. That's a dead diva. I mean, I did kill the diva. I don't know what you're talking about. Like I said, it's a hate squad, guys. This was a long time ago. I know what I'm gonna do with this. Oh. So either we don't go in and we do nothing with Anna's ult, or we go in and die. We chose to go in and die, and hopefully my teammates can make some space.
Returning to battle.
There is no good options there.
The air.
I don't play Hanzo. Hanzo's a very specific hero. Like, you have to be good at him. Pretty sure the Lari's cheating as well as the McCree is cheating. Let's check for a squad. Squad. So 3 groups. It's a 3 squad.
Feeling fortified.
Aerial positioning underway. I see an enemy.
100% accurate May. There's other DPS. So who wasn't in the squad? Cyber and Saver. Yeah, so all 3 of the guys in the squad are cheating. Hopefully I had a line of sight. We didn't do it soon enough. Pharah is the worst ult in the game, guys, so if you can actually get like a cheeky kill or a kill off to the side, it's actually really good. I should have done that immediately, though.
I don't want to talk about it. Up and away.
We just heard a McCree footstep. I hear a McCree footstep. The guy came up to kill me? Was up top? No. That was the one who killed me. Yeah, so the other guy knew I was there and came up to kill me. Both DPS are cheating, as I mentioned before. We're pretty sure the Lari's also cheating. They're all grouped together too. Fuck. Alright, man. The kind of interesting theory thing here, guys, is sometimes the trees can fuck with the aim locks. So if you hide behind trees, like they don't always shoot you. It doesn't always work. Depends on the kind of aimbot they're using and who made it. Depends on the kind of cheat that they have and who made it. But it'll actually fuck with some cheats and cause them to miss.
All systems nominal. Aerial positioning underway.
And just for me. Benefit to that is you can shot at my entire team, but instead of shooting at my entire team, shot at me.
Okay,
Good.
my head's in the game. Positioning.
Good. Good. Righty. So all three of the, or two of the DPS as well as the healer were cheating. We're gonna take a look at the replay footage specifically on the healer and also this guy. I don't know why he has 7 limbs, so he might be doing scummy shit and just trying to kill me. But we'll see that in the replay itself. Yeah, that guy's definitely cheating. Good shit, 100%. For some reason, the game has stat-based banning, but for some strange reason, it doesn't actually work on healers. I have no idea why. So you can get 100% accurate Annas, you can get 100% accurate Baps, and apparently a Lari too. Let's take a peek here. Playing with one hand, probably enabling his cheats. Clicks are inorganic. Hit reg misses.
Need more grit than that.
Percent miss.
How you want it?
Snaps off screen.
Never miss my mark.
Get unlucky. Sorry. Try to shoot the hog through the wall. He's missing a bunch. This isn't competitive. This is just quick play. Competitive late night is absolutely terrible. Snaps off screen again. Snaps off screen again. On misses. It's click percent miss. So what happens right now is it looks like, so this is probably an aimbot in which he manually engages it, and it will just miss until he engages it. So when your team is basically getting pushed back, he doesn't use it, and he builds banked accuracy is what I call it. So basically he misses a bunch of shots, his accuracy goes down, and then he enables it, his accuracy goes back up. It allows you to bank accuracy and basically use it for when the enemy team is actually pushing, and basically fuck them a lot harder, while still not risking getting banned. It's actually pretty common to cheat in quick play. The reason for that is because people don't take quick play seriously. People are less likely to get reported in quick play, because it's just quick play, right? And teams are less balanced in quick play itself, right? Yeah. These are people that I played with months ago. This is linear parallel acceleration and velocity. Basically hard lock to me.
Who needs healing?
Go.
Tactical visor activated.
That shot me through the wall.
Rains from above.
What the fuck is that? Did he just shoot me through the wall?
Who needs healing?
Go.
Damn it.
Rains from above.
Where there's smoke, there.
Oh, you got a hit marker, didn't you? Yeah, he did. He somehow got a hit marker while shooting the wall. Yeah, that's hard pre-aim right there. Did a snap behind wall, too? Kind of. He's following it directly. It's 254. This guy's been around for a while, so we're actually going to take time to make timestamps here, guys. 254. Was there one prior to this? Not really. You carried a friend. Good. Brad needs all the help he can get with stream snipers, so. Easy shots. Just shooting people casually through the diva, knows exactly where they are. Watching the Anna. Missing again.
Plenty more where that. I reach you. Plenty more where that came from. I reach you.
Good.
Watches over you.
Ah, it's misses now. Like, even though it looks like he's like snapping to targets, they're just like still missing. Like, he'll snap to the Bastion and just missed a bunch of shots.
Where was I?
No. I'm ready to initiate
Oh.
self-destruct sequence.
Got him. Hee hee. We're gonna take a look at the Mei. The Mei's really fucking weird. Mei is incredibly fucking accurate, only got 6 limbs. Easiest misses in the world, guys. Easiest shots in the world, all misses. Missing hog again.
That's a beat, man.
Healing pipeline out.
My healing is out. I am unbreakable.
I need assistance.
I've been watching Diva, but he looks directly at the Bastion.
Healing fortified.
Stick with it.
Stay near my body.
You can tell, like, there's a minimum distance you have to go before you actually lock the targets. It doesn't always have it. It's almost like 200 pixels is a lock distance where it just doesn't do anything. You're just fucking shooting in air here.
You're in no condition to fight.
Pretty big.
On my way. I'm on my way. No.
The Tarkov wiggle? Oh, you guys see the cheat video for Tarkov? Oh, we covered that. That was great. Oh.
I'm really feeling the heat.
So the thing about this, guys, is what makes this even worse. I really wish you could change your username. What makes this worse is these guys know I report people for cheating, which is why they have such a stick up their ass about me. Which makes them hide cheating even more. It's why you don't want to get known for reporting people for cheating, because it makes it more difficult to find people that are cheating too.
Go. Go.
Just decides to randomly snap between 2 different targets instead of killing one. Yeah.
I am unbreakable.
I don't think these guys play comp either.
Healing pipeline out.
My ultimate is breakdown. Your carry is here.
Don't move.
Hee hee. Yeah, so they're just fucking around. Like I said, it's pre-made. It's 3-man cheat squad. No.
Won't let you fall.
929. Like, if they're trying really hard to hide the fact that they have wall hack, it makes it difficult to figure it out.
Face the sunrise.
missing a bunch again. Like, easy shots, they aren't moving, like, straightforward shots, and he just misses them when he's rolling up towards them.
60 seconds remaining. Goodbye.
How the fuck you missed everything there?
Stick with it.
And hit the world's most difficult shots.
Fall back. We have to fall back.
Would have been really nice if the Steam change allowed you to basically just randomly change your username. Would have been great. But the game doesn't have a proper Stream Snipe mode either. Did he even look towards me? So how did he kill only me? It looked like he was looking at my team when he fired.
You're powered up. Get in there.
It's hand.
Yes.
Draw.
What the fuck was this? He's actually facing my teammates, not me, and he kills me.
Yes.
Draw.
Like, he's aimed towards my teammates here. I'm off screen on the left. How the fuck did he just kill me? Okay. Okay.
Behind you.
Easy picking.
Need a Mercy. Mercy's always make everything easier. It doesn't matter who you're playing. It's true, Mercy helps a lot with Pharah. You don't need a Mercy. Half of, like, playing Pharah... This is a very specific game, as I mentioned before. This is a cheat squad, and people that know me. Alright, we're not going to see anything else there. This is taking forever. Oh. Okay. Take a look at what the fuck the Mei was doing that entire match. It's like she wasn't even playing. Not exactly sure what's going on there.
Ready for battle.
But Mei was also cheating. She was extremely accurate. Maybe she's just trying to crouch kills on me. This guy?
No, no, no.
Objective lost.
Come get healed.
Sometimes, like I mentioned before, like when people know like you report them for cheating, they start doing all sorts of fucking weird shit too. I have had people that are using aimbots and they basically avoid limbs, and the reason they avoid limbs is so they don't get they don't give kill cams to you. So they'll do a shitload of damage and basically get no limbs, so you won't get kill cams to them and assume that they're cheating. Thanks, Teddy.
Bad guys, heads up. Bad guys, heads up.
05.
Bravo!
وريهم قوتك.
ENT Leaf Demon!
Biotic healing ready for use. Damn it. Biotic healing ready for use. Damn it.
You're not.
Nine. We can get some nice juicy one at Z height, that'd be great.
Baby, you're my pilot.
Go, go.
45 at Z height. Lari is not Z height, you can see the laser beam. Flaring at air. Waiting for the Lari to move up from the corner. Like we mentioned before, guys, when people are cheating, you'll see a common trend where people use cheats like aim assist for council. So what you'll see in council games, where people will hold down the fire button while looking at a corner, waiting for people to basically walk in front, and for it to lock on. And when it locks on, it gives you a huge advantage, right?
No.
Okay.
One tricking doesn't stop people from cheating. This guy is definitely not as good hiding his cheats as the other guy is.
Okay.
This could be why this guy wasn't really trying for limbs, or maybe he's just not very good. I'm not sure.
Thanks.
Positioning.
324. The squad, we're taking time on this, guys. They're gonna make my life miserable, I'm gonna make their life miserable. That's where this goes. I don't remember this guy. I remember the two guys, the 17 and the Rangu chick, hanging out together. I don't remember this guy, which probably means this guy I know is a three squad. I don't remember this guy's name, which probably means he got banned.
Fields online.
Face the sunrise!
Step right.
See me for a little bit.
Step right up.
Nano boost administered.
What else is new?
I reach you. Really feeling this. There's no stopping me.
All takes time. Way too much time. Are you just literally... Are you going through a list of memes? Do you have like a meme checklist?
Gracias.
Not really. That just looks like he's just looking in the general direction I'm behind.
I reach you.
Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween!
Takes forever. If only I got paid to do this.
Everyone, heal up.
Good.
Ciao.
No. No. Setting up fence.
Or position in general.
No.
Good. Aim gets all janky for some reason.
Biotic healer ready for use.
Oh, he's missing a lot.
I hear you.
There it is. So I thought there was a weird flick here. Sometimes, so when people see this happening, they'll immediately try to flick their mouse back, but sometimes it's too late depending on what happens. It looks like it locked the Lari behind the wall for some strange reason. There. That is... our Lari, right? Pretty sure that's our Lari. He immediately flicks it back because he knows it's fucked up. Pretty sure it's Lari. That's a good one. Oh, okay. I guess we're aiming at Bastion now. Yeah. Yeah, now we're aiming at Bastion. Okay. Replay watcher? Yeah, we got a cheat squad. Like, it's people that know me and know I report people. Obviously, they try to make my life miserable. So now we gotta spend time looking to fucking replay in order to find spots where they're trying to hide it. Wish you could change usernames. This shit wouldn't happen, but you can't. First guy we watched wasn't as good at cheating? Better at cheating, excuse me. Wasn't good at, was better at hiding it. Definitely just tried to shoot the Anna behind the cart, but he had line of sight on the Anna prior, so it's not really that big of a deal.
I am unbreakable.
I need assistance.
casually getting hit, casually just getting headshots, guys, while aiming all over the fucking place.
Eventually.
Yeah. Good. So, what's probably happening right now is, if you guys didn't know, the foliage here has a model on it, which means you can't shoot through it. And depending on how the aimbot is configured, it might see the model in the game and refuses to shoot through it, despite the fact that you know where the person is, so it doesn't lock on. Because when you lock on to people behind walls, it's extremely obvious. Yeah, this guy's not very good at hiding his shit. Try to shoot the fucking hog through the wall. Huh. Maybe not. Definitely looked like he just flicked to the hog, but maybe the aimbot didn't lock on. I mean, he's literally just looking directly at people through walls right now. We're gonna put that one down. 32. Good. Good, good, good. This is the fun part. I'd rather play games. Like, no one... This is the favorite thing that I like to point out, guys. No one holds angles by looking at walls. You don't gain any information by doing this at all. Where it clearly looks like he's trying to figure out what the fuck's going on here. He's not peeking angles. He's not covering angles here. He is looking at people through walls right now.
I'm on my way.
And jumps around while looking at the Anna. Or maybe not the Anna, the Lari. Or me. Doesn't even know how to use his kit properly. That'd be a perfect time to trap the hog with the Diva Bomb, and then not only would the hog have been trapped, he would have line of sight with the rest of the team. So it's not even like a guy that necessarily even knows how to play his kit. Random spam. Random headshot out of nowhere, not even at me. He's trying to kill me. He just randomly headshot the Anna below me. I was gonna say just now, the guy had the ult for basically that last team fight, and he didn't use it all, even though he had it. Lazy aimer. Originally I thought he was shooting at the hog. He might have been, like, it might have snapped the turret on the left. Guy. Maybe the Lari.
The payload is approaching its destination.
It is a Lari. Might have just been random though. Oh.
Payload is approaching its destination.
Kill. 938. For some reason, like when people, like if they want to be lazy with aimbots, like Mei is the character they always pick. Mei's Icicle does a decent amount of damage. It's like Hanzo's arrows, only it has a bigger hitbox on it. That was literally perfectly led for my brain. Good. There's a lot of inferences here you can make, though. On the bastion behind the cart to see him. He doesn't actually have line of sight. That's just general angles. You could have been watching Ilaria, but probably not. She's going up. There's like no reason for him to flank. Like Mei's like basically an off tank. So there's no reason for him to be behind the enemy team. You could have done this from the front. Still been shooting at him. This guy's not very good. Alright.
I am unbreakable. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh my god, boring as shit. So this guy is not good at all. Ball looks a lot more. Waste my fucking time. Get the fuck out of here. Alright, now we have to look at the Lari. Lari, as I mentioned before, her gun has projectile. We might not see anything here. It's not a projectile, it's a hit scan that has a width to it, which should not exist at all, but it does. So you can end up with grazing shots, you can end up with headshots that don't actually hit the target. Okay. Depending on the kind of aimbot, once again, sometimes shittier aimbots, good ones will be able to attach the bone mesh or the model, depending on where it's looking. But shittier ones will only be able to attach to the chest and head, dead center. So if you obscure your chest and head with, like, let's say a platform or something, they can't actually shoot you, despite the fact your dangly bits are hanging out. Your feet are hanging below the platform. I forgot to put Cheat Squad in the last reply. Oh. Doing something.
These injuries are in something. Healing fire on the pole. Yes. Working on your injuries. Keep close. Face the sunrise! I am unstoppable! Healing fire here. Self-destruct sequence. Yes. Let's see. Keep it together. Okay. Positioning healing pylon. Goodbye. Taking damage. Stay close. I'm trying to help. Captain Sam is on his way. Face the sunrise!
Kind of feels like the Lari ult, they need to make it so when you, the only people that can trigger the Alari burst are basically Alari. So Alari has to shoot people. Right now it triggers off anyone's damage and it shouldn't. It does a shitload of damage. That'd prevent it from snowballing so hard.
Working on your injuries. Keep close. Stay near my pylon. Healing pylon
I don't think this guy has a wall hack. I mean... keep my feet.
Healing pylon out.
Ready to initiate self-destruct sequence.
Pylon broken.
The reason we dipped out of there, guys, is because the game's sketchy to begin with, and I wasn't going to 1v1 someone that has a chip on their shoulder and is probably cheating. Why left? I haven't seen any Alaris actually use this properly, so when you're doing a solar ult like this, you definitely should be like a MOBA. When you get an effect on someone, a dot effect, the idea here is not actually to kill one person, it's to trigger every single one of the solar blasts or whatever it's called. So in a MOBA, when you get an effect like this on multiple people, you go from single target damage to multiple target damage. Looks like Hog's the only one that might be affected though. How'd the whole team get away? Regardless of the specific ult. It did hit multiple people. So you do that, and then you immediately shoot the Hog, and Larry already got away. The idea is to tag everyone before they get away far enough, so the AoE damage goes off, and they do massive damage to everyone around them. And the Larry's still hit.
Goodbye.
But pretty much everyone I've seen use it tries to kill a single person when they use it.
Goodbye. Yes.
like either this guy doesn't have a wall hack or he doesn't have it turned on. Doesn't trust himself with the information from it. By the way, the cheats that really never get caught, I believe, what's it called? A pixel bot. So it doesn't actually involve accessing your memory. Basically, it looks for pixels on your screen, and it can use capture, and it has nothing to do with the wall hack. Basically, it's one of the hardest things that they catch because it basically uses the screen as a way to judge where people are, and you can use things like the output from OBS to actually cheat. Basically, this is the way it looks, and there's no way for the game to actually know that someone's cheating because it's looking for specific texture patterns and such. One of the safest aimbots in the game. Missing a bunch now. Shitload of shots now.
My pipe. No. Had been to enough units.
I said, they know I report people. That makes it very difficult, or more difficult, to look for stuff while they're cheating.
Bad
Killing
guys.
by one out.
Take them out.
Understood. Killing by one out.
Take them out.
Understood.
This right here is our team. There is no enemies there, or no teammates there. There is no angles there. The only thing there is a wall in front of this guy. There. And I mean, we didn't really catch much of anything in this video, so this is one of the few spots. This is one of the few spots where it definitely looks like they have a wall hack, but we've only seen one of these, which is this right here, right? 4 of these, and once again, I really wish I could change my username in-game, so I don't have to change my entire Battle.net account name. Get better footage. Leaks, I know these guys cheat, but this is what we got. And this could just be RNG. They aren't placing a turret. They aren't following the McCree. They aren't healing the McCree. They are clearly looking at our team right now. Yeah. But we only have one of these, which is right there. It's a prolonged period, too.
Activating self-destruct sequence.
Oh, okay.
Goodbye.
Definitely the hog. Okay, so we have 754. Hog was like 758. Could have been the Diva, but that wasn't on the Diva, that was on the Hog right here. That's directly to Hog, 756. I was about to doubt myself. That was too fast.
The eye of horror watches over you.
No, actually, that's readjusted. That she just tried to shoot the... Could be muscle memory. That's tough to tell because it's so fast.
The eye of...
Right here. The wall goes up. And you saw him jumping a little bit, so it's possible. But it definitely looks like you just tried to shoot him through the wall. Right there. 803. I'll just add it anyways. And figure out what to do with it. Guy's getting sloppy at the end here. 805.
Position and healing pyro. I'm sorry. Stay close. I'm trying to help.
This is just an open, so it's tough to tell, but it definitely looks like he's watching the Lari right now. Oh. Exactly to Lari. That's an open, that's a doorway there, so...
Okay.
Dead.
Nano boost administered.
It's like a 45-minute demo, guys. What the fuck was she? Was she just trying to heal the hog through the wall? Sometimes I've noticed some Alaris get confused as to whether they're going to heal or do damage, and then like they try to heal enemies through walls. Really weird.
Healing pylon out.
Healing
My ultimate
fortified.
is ready. Follow
Diva.
through on my mark.
He was right there.
Healing pylon out.
Healing
My ultimate
fortified.
is ready. Follow through on my mark.
You misclick. Still look like they're tracking the hog behind the wall.
You're in no condition. I hear you. They broke my pylon. My ultimate is ready. I am ready to unleash my ultimate. We have to go back. Steering pylon destroyed. Pylon destroyed. Captive sun is ready to burn. Face the sunrise! EMP,
This would probably be easy mode if they didn't know it was me.
Healing pylon out. Okay. Understood.
Everyone, think
Step Rider.
Yes.
Headshot the hog through the bush?
Goodbye.
Like an insta snap to the head too.
Breaking on goodbye.
Little U shape. It's not even a linear line. C maybe.
Ciao.
everyone think together. We can do this.
Go.
Definitely cheating at the end. So maybe they waited till the end to toggle on. I'm not exactly sure. On that one, they might have been playing really, really safe early on. Also cheating, though. That's unfortunate. That's one of the downsides if people know that you report people for cheating, guys, is it starts turning into shit like this where it gets more difficult to get people banned because people try and hide it better. So, as I mentioned before, this is a cheat squad. We've played with them before. It's a 3 squad I remember before. I remember 2 of these guys, which is this guy and this guy. This guy was also playing with them. I don't remember them, but it was also cheating, so this might be a fresh account too. Meaning they probably got banned and now they have a new account, which is probably another reason they hate me, because they know I actually report people. Oh my god, how long was it? Was that 45 minutes? It was like 15 minutes per person because we had to go like 0.25 for like half of it. That's obnoxious. An hour ago. It's a fucking hour ago, guys. Oh my god. Even for me, that's an extended period of time. The only reason we're doing it is because these guys are extended players in the community and they hate me. And they go out of their way to make my life miserable. So, you know, Hate Squad. That'll happen. All right, guys, we're going to call things here for this evening, guys. Tomorrow will be more of the OW2s. Yeah. Good. And some great games this morning. How do we even do? Obviously, we got, like, accuracy wasn't even that bad. Look at the accuracy on that. Accuracy's pretty spot on. That's what I want to see. It doesn't matter, though, when you get instigated by cheaters. They basically always know who you are and paying attention to you. Didn't do that hot. I mean, we actually didn't do that bad either. I only have 3,000 damage. What the fuck is that? That guy literally seemed like he was lost the entire match. That was clearly cheating. He tried really hard to hide his wall hack, but he was probably, I don't know which was more obvious, this guy or this guy later on. Like, she fucked up at the end. He also fucked up a couple times. It's pretty absurd. Shitload of damage. Alari definitely needs nerfs. Regardless of cheating, Alari needs nerfs. But we're going to call things here for this evening, guys. Really fucking boring. That's the way it goes sometimes. I'd rather spend more time playing rather than doing that, but that was a special case. So we're going to give out here for this evening, though, guys. If you are new to the stream, you enjoyed the bullshit, you enjoyed the fun, you enjoyed all the cheaters and the copium, make sure to hit the follow button on your respective platform. I play on or stream on YouTube, Facebook, as well as Kick every day from late night to early morning, GMT-6. So about 11 p.m. Central Standard Time to 4 a.m., give or take. Depends what's going on in my life, what's happening, etc., guys. I'm out here for this evening, guys. Tomorrow, hopefully, we'll have some better games. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching my streams as always, and I hope you guys have a wonderfully fantastic Sunday night and Monday morning. Have a good day, guys.